Hi friends! Today we are going to make hard-boiled eggs. Sometimes people call them hard-cooked eggs. We have these at school um, with the eggs from our chickens. And the eggs that I'm going to use, I bought at the grocery, so they're not from Lovely and Poof. So before we begin, I'm going to wash my hands. So turn the camera over this way. You remember how long? 20 seconds. This time I'm going to shut the water off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now rinse all the bubbles off. Okay, so I am only going to hard boil 2 eggs because not a lot of people in my house enjoy them. And I'm following a recipe, and this is from an old cookbook that I have, a Betty Crocker cookbook. I think my mom gave that to me. So we are going to take our saucepan, and I have the eggs. I have 2, like this. We're going to put them 1, 2, and then we are going to add enough cold water to come at least 1 inch above the eggs. So put that down here. Move this over here so you can see. We're filling this up with cold water. So it says to 1 inch above the eggs. Then we're going to come over to the stove and put them here. Turn that on. Go. Do you have a stove like this? This is called a gas stove. A stove without the flame here would be an electric stove. So what we're going to do now is, it says to heat it rapidly to boiling. So we'll know it's boiling when we see bubbles. So we're going to come back when it starts to boil. Okay. So we know the water is boiling when we see bubbles. So it says to bring it to boiling, and then we're going to shut it off. And then we're going to cover it. And it also says to remove it from the heat. And my pans have a hot handle, so I always use a little pot holder. So I'm going to put them even on a different burner so that they don't get any hotter than they already are. And then I'm going to set my timer for 18 minutes. And then when 18 minutes is done, we will move on to the next step, which is to cool them in cold water. So we'll be back. You hear my timer? That tells me that it has been 18 minutes. So I'm going to shut that off. So the next thing we do is we want to immerse these in cold water. So when you immerse something, you put it in something. So I am going to put this down here, try to move my camera so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. So I will, see, that's not very hot, but to drain this, I'm going to do this. See how hot? Look at the steam. That's how we know it's really, really hot. Should probably have an adult do this part, right? And then you can see like hardly any water's coming out now. See our eggs? And the reason I'm putting them in cold water is I want to stop the cooking process. So I'm going to Lots of cold water. And then I'm feeling them. I can feel that they're still a little warm. I'm actually going to drain it and put in even more cold water, because the heat from the eggs will warm up the water. Alright, so I'm going to let my eggs sit in there for a little bit, and then I'll come right back. Okay, the eggs are cold enough, so I'm going to dry these off. And then I think what I'm going to do is get a plate. And the recipe says to, sorry, hold on a minute. Let's move this over. There we go. All right, so it says to take the egg and kind of tap it to crackle it. And it says to roll it in your hands to kind of help loosen the shell. I think maybe you could probably crack it again a little bit. Hear that? Ooh, the shell's cracking. All right, let's see if this, oh, look, peeling the egg. Ooh, so exciting. See if we can get all this to come off, huh? So this is the white of the egg. And then the inside, the yellow part, is called the yolk. And usually at school, I see Jeff and Alyssa make these in the afternoons. And then at school, we have an egg slicer. I don't have one here, but if you have one at home, that could be fun to use. But I think that peeling eggs is really fun. Look at that. See the shell? We don't want to eat the shell. That wouldn't taste very good. Okay. And then it looks like we got all the pieces off. Rinse that off real quick. And then let's slice it open. Ready? There you go. There's your hard-boiled egg. And now you can eat that and have that for a little snack. I hope that you enjoyed watching me make hard-boiled eggs. And let me know if you make this at home. Thank you. Bye.